Welcome to this weekend edition of Cape Town News. Today is Saturday, the 15th of February, 2025. And in case you missed it, here's a recap of the top stories that made headlines in the Western Cape this past week. Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis has reaffirmed the city's readiness to assume control of its passenger rail services, emphasizing that an efficient railway system is critical to Cape Town's economic growth and public transport reliability. Following President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address on the 6th of February, Hill-Lewis stated that the city has already developed a business plan to take over the rail network, which has been plagued by inefficiency and vandalism under PRASA's management. The mayor emphasized that securing local control over the service would allow for better safety measures, improved scheduling, and increased commuter confidence. The Western Cape government has expressed support for this initiative, aligning with its broader transport infrastructure reforms. While no formal agreement has been reached with the national government, discussions are expected to continue in the coming months. Despite increased police deployments, the Western Cape continues to see a troubling surge in mass shootings, with at least 12 people killed in multiple incidents over the past few days. The latest shootings occurred in Manhunt, Philippi East, and Yanga, police confirming that the attacks appear to be linked to ongoing gang warfare. Western Cape Police Commissioner Provincial Politics has assured the public that investigations are underway and that additional resources will be deployed to track down those responsible. "We are working tirelessly to identify and arrest the perpetrators of these brutal attacks," Patekile said, urging residents to come forward with any information. The Western Cape government has called for a review of firearm regulations to address the growing number of illegal guns fueling violent crime in the province. On Saturday, the 8th of February, members of the activist group Reclaim the City attempted to occupy the Tafelberg site at 357 Main Road, Sea Point, Cape Town. The group, advocating for affordable housing, argued that the well-located site should be used to house low-income residents instead of commercial development. The Western Cape government, led by Premier Alan Winde, condemned the action, calling it an unlawful invasion that disrupted planned development processes. Provincial Infrastructure Minister Tertuis Simmers reaffirmed the government's commitment to providing affordable housing, but insisted that land allocation must follow due process. Security personnel were deployed to prevent the occupation, and no injuries or violent clashes were reported. The incident has reignited debates over land use and Cape Town's housing crisis, with Reclaim the City vowing to continue its campaign for equitable housing in well-located areas. The Good Party has accused the city of Cape Town of mismanaging 24 million rand on a fleet management information system, FMIS, that was eventually scrapped. The system, meant to improve oversight of the city's vehicle fleet, was abandoned after failing to meet operational requirements. According to Good Party Secretary-General Brett Heron, the FMIS project was launched in 2017 and was expected to improve efficiency and cut costs. However, the system was terminated in 2020 due to ongoing technical failures. Heron criticized the project as a waste of public funds and has called for an investigation into the procurement and implementation process. City officials acknowledged the project's failure, attributing it to unforeseen technical difficulties. They assured that lessons had been learned and that stricter oversight would be applied to future IT-related projects. A manhunt is underway for Yanga Wayithi, an inmate who escaped from Pollsmoor prison on Monday, the 10th of February, 2025. Correctional Services officials confirmed that Wayithi, who was awaiting trial for armed robbery and assault, managed to flee during the early hours of the morning. Details surrounding the escape remain unclear, but an internal investigation has been launched to determine whether security lapses or staff negligence played a role. SAP's spokesperson, Brigadier Novela Potelwa, urged the public to report any sightings and warned that Wayithi is considered dangerous. Local community groups in Tokaj and Steenberg have expressed concern over safety, as Pollsmoor has seen previous escape incidents. Police have assured residents that checkpoints and increased patrols are in place, and they are working closely with correctional services to track down the fugitive. Authorities have asked anyone with information to contact Crime Stop on 08 600 10111. Cape Town's thriving Airbnb market could soon be facing major regulatory changes as the Department of Tourism moves to formalize short-term rental policies. The proposed regulations aim to introduce strict compliance measures for platforms such as Airbnb, requiring hosts to adhere to zoning laws, taxation rules, and health and safety standards similar to those of hotels and guest houses. A key proposal under discussion is the limitation on the number of nights a property can be rented out annually, similar to models in other global tourist cities. While industry players fear these regulations could deter property investments, city officials argue they are necessary to protect local housing availability and affordability. Public feedback is being gathered before the final decision is made later this year. If implemented, the new rules could significantly reshape Cape Town's short-term rental landscape, particularly in high-demand areas such as Sea Point, Camps Bay, and the City Bowl. The Cape Town SAPS K9 unit has recovered almost R1 million worth of stolen Nestlé products and arrested a 32-year-old suspect after a truck hijacking in Manhunt. The hijacking occurred just before 6 a.m. on Tuesday, the 11th of February, on Duinefontein Road. A security tracking company traced the truck to Mimoina Crescent Athlone, where police launched an operation. As officers arrived, they spotted a suspicious vehicle linked to the crime. A high-speed chase followed, and CCTV footage later confirmed that the car had been used to dump stolen goods. The vehicle was later found abandoned at the Strandfontein police precinct, leading to the arrest of the suspect. Authorities warn that cargo truck hijackings remain a growing problem, with recent data showing 54% of vehicle crimes involve hijackings. SAPS has praised the K9 unit's swift response, reinforcing the need for collaborative efforts to combat organized crime in the province. An official investigation has uncovered systemic corruption within the Swellendam Municipality, implicating senior officials in procurement fraud and financial mismanagement. The findings, released this week, suggest that contracts were awarded irregularly, with millions of rands misallocated through manipulated tender processes. The report identifies the municipal manager and the supply chain manager as key figures in the alleged misconduct. The investigation highlights unauthorized expenditure and conflicts of interest, raising concerns about the integrity of the municipality's financial operations. Swellendam residents have expressed outrage over the revelations, calling for immediate dismissals and criminal charges against those involved. The Western Cape government has confirmed that disciplinary action will be taken, while law enforcement agencies are expected to assess the possibility of further prosecution. Municipal officials have been given 14 days to respond to the allegations. The case has sparked renewed debate over financial oversight in local government, with opposition parties urging stricter audit processes to prevent future irregularities. Authorities are investigating 3 separate paragliding fatalities in the Western Cape over the past 48 hours. The incidents, which occurred in Wilderness, Stellenbosch, and Hermanus, have raised serious concerns over safety protocols in adventure sports. According to initial reports, sudden wind changes may have played a role in the crashes, with pilots losing control mid-flight. The Civil Aviation Authority has confirmed that detailed safety inspections are underway to determine whether existing regulations were followed. Witnesses reported equipment malfunctions in at least one of the accidents, prompting calls for improved maintenance checks on paragliding gear. Paragliding operators have defended their safety standards, but families of the victims are demanding stricter regulations and compulsory emergency training. This week's incidents have led the Western Cape Disaster Management Centre to urge recreational pilots to exercise extreme caution, particularly in unpredictable weather conditions.